My guest today played 17 seasons in the NBA. He was drafted by the Utah Jazz in the 2005 NBA Draft. He also played for the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Indiana Pacers, the Toronto Raptors, and many more. He was one of the league's elite shooters, draining threes at will. It's my absolute honor to welcome to Jake's Takes NBA sharpshooter CJ Miles. What's up, CJ? How you doing?
I'm good, Jake, man. How you? Thank you for that introduction, man. That was great. I appreciate that.
Man, thanks so much for coming on my show. And before we start, I just got to tell you something you're probably not aware of. This isn't the first time we've met. You recognize
Really?
these shoes?
Yeah, man. Those are, what is that? That's Toronto. Those are Toronto, I think.
Yeah, I was 8. I think I was
Really?
8. I was like 8 at the time, and I was screaming for a picture. You came over to me and you just gave me your shoes and signed them. It was so nice of you.
That's crazy, man. I'm glad we got that moment, man. That's cool that this came back around like that, man.
Crazy. And by the way, yeah, again, and now you're just doing another amazing gesture by coming on my show. Shows how amazing of a guy you are.
I mean, I just think good people are good people. You try to help and do as much as you can. I love to talk basketball. People that like to talk basketball are fun to talk to. And it just happened. It was even cooler because we met before.
So how's life been, CJ? Where are you living these days?
It's good, man. I'm at home in Texas. I'm from Dallas, but me and my wife, and we live in San Antonio. We have 2 little girls, expecting the third child. Not a little girl, but we'll find that out soon. But yeah, we just being a dad, hanging out right now. Whatever's next, it'll come.
You still balling or not?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. Like, I still play pickup in the off seasons and stuff like that. I played all last summer, probably will again this summer, things like that. I still like to be in the gym, be around the game. Like, it just was time. I did it for a long time.
By the way, CJ, hear me out on this. You were known as a pure shooter when you came into the league, a guy who can drain a 3 from anywhere on the floor. And you did it, and you did it well. You filled it up. You could score 20 points in a quarter, no problem. But the league only recently became a 3-point dominant shooting league. And I checked it up. When you entered the league, 3-point attempts per game were 16. As of last year, it's at 35 per game.
Yeah.
That's more than double. Do you
Yeah.
think you would have came into the league today with your skill set and you just would have dominated more? Because I draft you in the top 10 with your 3-point shooting ability.
I definitely was a little early, especially going to Utah, which was old school. So we're not even shooting that many threes. So if the league average was 16, us getting to 16 some nights wouldn't even happen because we didn't even play that way. We played inside. We played a system that wanted elbow jump shots and layups. So, but I definitely think that, coming in at this time, my skill set is different. It's used different, utilized different. The freedom of the game is different. Come out of high school, you play so free, and you play. I was just a different player coming into the league. I had to learn. Funny story. I taught myself to be a shooter, quote unquote. Like, I was all around. I had the ball in my hands. I could shoot, but as the league was changing, I just noticed it, and I wanted to extend my career based off the guys I was playing with. So I played with Darren Williams. Then I played with Kyrie Irving. Then I played with Paul George. I played with these ball-dominant guys, rightfully so. So I figured out how to make myself valuable to the teams.
By the way, speaking about dominant, winning teams these days are built around 3-point shooters with a dominant player in between. You look at the Bucks with Giannis surrounded by shooters like Pat Connaughton, Grayson Allen. The formula is just all across the league now, and even the Grizzlies with like Ja as being the dominant superstar, and then Desmond Bane and Dylan Brooks around them to shoot. But like, you would have been so much more valuable in today's game.
Yeah, I hear you. And I definitely noticed it. But I mean, it's father time is father time, right? Like, there's nothing I can really do about that. But I definitely see it, and I noticed it. I definitely, before a couple of injuries, I definitely felt like I would have still been playing now. And then like obviously certain things happen. I got healthy, but just life changes and my mind and your motivations change for certain things you want to do. So, but I think that I definitely feel if I come into the league, just a handful of years later, my career is different, but I don't regret anything.
By the way, this leads well into the Raptors' current struggles. And man,
Yeah.
CJ, have you ever thought about signing a 10-day contract with the Raps just to show them how it's done to shoot the ball? They could seriously
Um,
use some shooting. Like, what's going on? Do you think you blow it up or stay on course?
I think you figure it out. I think you trust the guys that you built around or you're trying to build around for sure. I think it's a tough time. These happen. Guys go through lulls, go through lows, go through whatever you want to call them, ruts, slumps, all the words. These happen. I know that, but this is a business. Something I would imagine that something might happen. I don't know, but just because it's been extended now, it's been going on for a while, and they've been trying different things. And but I think it's just you just those guys, the players, just have to keep going. They have to do their job and just play.
Talk to me about your time in Toronto. How did you enjoy it?
I love Toronto. Toronto was great to me. Both on and off the court, my life was just it was a different time and it was a great time. Off the court, I had my first child there. She's Canadian. And then just the city showed so much love. That first year I got there, I had never been a part of anything that big. It's a country behind a basketball team. It's not just a city or a state. It's a whole of Canada. There's only one team up there. And they ride for those guys and they rode for us. And I was with a great group, a team that was trending up. We had a great regular season. It was a really fun time with basketball.
Do you still stay in touch with your former Raptors teammates, or what's the deal there? Do you still stay in touch with them?
Yeah, we still speak. Me and people know about me and Freddie's relationship. We got really close when I was there. I still speak to, in passing. Obviously through social media makes it really easy. We don't even have to do it through the phone. We speak on Instagram. I speak to DeMar here and there on Instagram, just from commenting through stories and stuff like that, like everybody does. Me and OG speak. That's my young boy. He calls me his vet. He makes me feel old, but I go to see the Spurs game, so I go see Yak play. Me and him don't talk a lot, but I've seen him in the city a couple times because he's here. I haven't spoken to DeLon a lot, but there's guys throughout that team. When I see him, it's all love. It's great.
By the way, what do you think about OG really coming to his own this year, being like one of the defensive player of the years? He's coming into it.
I think he just decided to own it. He had all this potential, all this talent, and he just started to walk like it. I think you saw the glimpses of it, and everybody else was saying these things, but you never heard him say it. And I think you saying something out loud is different. It's like you saying you want to have the best podcast in the world. That changes the way you approach your podcast because now there's some accountability. When everybody else is saying it and you never say it, it doesn't matter. You can just kind of float and be like, yeah, they think I'm this, they think I'm that. But when you say it, now it has to be taken serious. And I think that's what he did. So, Jake, if you want to have the best podcast in the world, you say it out loud and then you approach it that way.
All right. Sounds like I got my new formula. So I want to talk to you about Tyrese Halliburton because he's wearing your number in Indiana.
Yeah.
I think you wanted to be number 34 or something, but then when you went to the Cavs, it was retired, so you went to 0 and it stuck. Is that right?
Yeah. So yes and no. Yes, I wanted a different number. I did want a new start. I wasn't sure if I was gonna do it, but when I left Utah, but when I decided to sign with the Cavs, finding out that 34 was retired, like you said, it made it even easier to change my number because I had to. And it was like a fresh start type thing, and you don't start any fresher than 0. Like there's no fresher start than that. And then it just kind of stuck after that. But yeah, and then him coming out and having the thing about 2K and saying that he was wearing it because of that, and he used to play and watch that team that I was on there. I actually met him last summer before. I was up there in the summer. I went to go visit the guys that I used to work with there. And he's a really great, talented dude, man. He's playing amazing.
He's amazing. And I mean, clearly he's owing some of his success to you for wearing his number because I think that's all behind it now. I'm kidding.
Not at all, but I think he's definitely I love the most about him is who he is as a person, as a man, like he carries himself the right way and that just carries over on the court, He's a tremendous passer, tremendous leader, loves to play the game, and he's just got that team, that culture just really turned around in a short amount of time since he's been there. And to be as young as he is, to be able to turn a culture around is great.
What like absolutely just mind boggles me is that he leads the league in assists, and he's shooting over 40% from three again. For this is his third year in a row, I think.
Yeah, there's nobody like him right now at that position. Like he's so talented. He's long, athletic, good space, good pace. I mean, like you said, he shoots the ball extremely well, and that was one of the things they were worried about because it wasn't a traditional looking jump shot at first, which is, as we've come to know, that does not matter. It matters is how much work you put into the jump shot, and he's shown with tremendous confidence that him and Buddy Hield are gonna break records this year on that team.
If you look at the NBA right now, I think he's the most true point guard you can find. Just so good.
I won't argue with you. I think he's right there. I mean, who's your arguments? Him, Chris Paul.
Yeah, Chris Paul, obviously. But
that's an obvious thing. It's like when you ask who the best rapper is, people don't say Jay-Z's name. Like it's a given thing. Like but yeah, like I think he will be soon. Obviously, Chris Paul not going to play forever. He's played a long time, but he doesn't have that many years left. And he's definitely up there. He's the most efficient for sure.
Yeah,
because he had like a handful of games with like double-digit assists and no turnovers, and it was a wild thing. Like I don't think anybody's really done it like that since Chris Paul.
It's crazy. He's so good. By the way, I want to talk to you about the MVP race this year because it is crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Tatum taking his game to a different level. Jokic again crushing it. Giannis leading a Bucks team without Middleton and Holiday. Durant going nuts in Brooklyn. And then my favorite, Luka, leading the league in points. 60, 21, 10. Like, what do you think about this MVP race so far?
It's the closest one with this number of guys in a while. Like, I mean, maybe, I don't know if ever we've had this many guys where you're really arguing. You have to make a list, and there's a 5-guy list, but this list is a list. And I think Giannis is floating into that conversation of like, you could almost give him an MVP every year because his numbers are going to say that, and his team's good, and he's floating into that Kobe Shaq type of space where those guys were just so dominant, and their teams are always going to be 1, 2, or 3 in their conference, and it's hard not to say they're in the MVP race. Jokic is so talented, and he's got that team. Just they play off of him, and with Murray coming back and getting healthy as the year goes, he looks great. I mean, Luka is Luka, like Luka Magic, right? Like it's the 60-20. What is it? 60 21 at 10.
Crazy.
I almost had to take my hat off. Like that's
like what's up with these games so far? What's up with these games? Donovan Mitchell 71, 11.
That was really wild too.
Holy cow, these guys are going nuts this year.
I think Donovan deserves to be in this conversation also.
I agree,
with MVP, because he goes there, and that team was already good, and they played well last year, and they were trending up, but he goes there, and I don't think anybody thinks it goes the way he's going. The way he's playing, and if they continue to trend up, and I don't know if Darius Garland came back yet, but if he comes back and they finish out the year really strong, he could really kind of creep his way to the top of that list. It's just one of those things, it's going to come down. Even Ja Morant, like there could be a run that he could go on, and now we could be talking about him for MVP. Like I know it's one of those things they have to earn. I hate that thing that they do with people. Like you got to earn. Like we're talking about this year. I'm not talking about because this guy has been close 3 years before me that he should get it before. I don't like that rule, but that's another story.
Yeah, Ja's amazing.
Amazing.
Anyway, last question, CJ. And I want to shift our attention to the West for a second, specifically the Lakers. They had a horrific start to the season, and then they slowly started to improve. AD went through a stretch playing maybe the best ball ever, and now LeBron, since turning 38, is playing off the charts. When healthy and clicking on all cylinders, how good can this Lakers team be?
I mean, you have a team with 3 MVP caliber players on it. They can always be, is no matter their age, because of the know-how. the experience. Not to mention those guys are still moving and very much athletic and very much capable of playing games. And I think if they can get healthy and get clicking again, I really wish AD could have finished this year playing the rate he was playing. Because now you start talking about them creeping up and they can win it. Russ turned this season around from last year to this year. LeBron, like you said, playing out of his mind. AD turns into that monster and continues to play that way. Now they have somebody they can really, really lean on without gassing the other guys out. There's capable shooters. Austin Reeves is really good. I think they still need a couple more guys that really, really shoot it just for respect values on the floor for the defense. Like, I don't need a guy to make 9 threes every night. I just need him to know that I need somebody that the defense knows can make 9 threes. That's the kind of thing that you look at. But I think, it's just about them figuring it out. I wish AD healthy, vibes, blessings, whatever I can send to him to get him back on the floor. I think Russ tweaked himself the other day too. I've been kind of tapped out for a couple of days, but that LeBron on your team in the playoffs, you never know what could happen.
Exactly. CJ, thanks so much for joining me on my podcast and giving me this incredible experience. Did you have fun with me today?
It was great, Jake, man. I couldn't believe that it made me so happy to know that we met before and then you pulling the shoes out. It was a great time, man. I'm really thankful for that.
Thank you so much.